council.
Jacobson,
Here.
Fanouken,
Here.
Marquardt,
Here.
Fagan,
Here.
Noriko,
Here.
Verbeek,
Here.
Favor,
Here.
Smith,
Here.
8 present.
There are no items within the committee of the whole meeting tonight that are on the regular agenda, so we move to considerations, and we have one tonight during this committee of the whole meeting, the FY 2017 Strategic Plan Second Quarter Update. Our management intern, Ray Munch, will come to the podium to speak on this item. Hi, Ray.
Good evening. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Alderman. I am here before you tonight to present our second quarter update for the DeKalb 2025 Strategic Plan. Quick agenda, we're going to go over an overview of the action item status for the items that have been addressed so far for 2017. And I'm also going to highlight some key achievements from each of the 5 visions of the strategic plan. I believe you've seen this before, but just to give you a quick recap, this is the status categories for the action items within the strategic plan. Items are labeled as either not started, on track, off track, or at risk. Additionally, there are status categories for items that have been achieved, not achieved, or completed during this fiscal year. This slide gives you a feel for where we're at going through the second quarter of fiscal year 2017, and it shows you the overall status of the 82 action items that we're addressing in 2017. At the end of the second quarter, 6 items have been achieved, 74 items are on track for achievement, 1 item is off track, and 1 item is at risk. I'd like to highlight for you a few of the items that are newly achieved items for this quarter. First, action item, engage citizens in active partnerships to enhance public safety and quality of life. For that update, fire and police detailed a total of 14 citizen engagement opportunities that they participated in throughout the community. Those included tours, community presentations, and fundraising events. Another action item that was achieved this year is encouraging community-based public safety engagement strategies and practices. In their updates for the second quarter, fire and police detailed a total of 28 instances in which public safety engagement strategies were utilized to increase friendly presence of DeKalb's fire and police in the community. Third, institute cultural competence training for all city employees. This was completed during the second quarter. Cultural competence and inclusion training was held in May for non-sworn city employees in the city manager's office, community development, human resources, IT, and public works. And finally, participate in multicultural events such as beloved community dinners, local food celebrations, and parades. Again, police and fire were very active in this area, participating in a total of 12 events throughout the community. Now to highlight several items from each of the 5 visions in the strategic plan. Under a vision of a sense of place, develop aesthetic and image enhancing projects and programs. Here we see Public Works applying fresh mulch to streetscapes throughout the city. This was part of their spring revitalization and maintenance projects. Again, under a vision of a sense of place, establish a city history museum that recognizes various elements of community heritage, such as public safety. Now, the city continues to work on the development of a STEAM Learning Center, as you know. We've been working with Ratio Architects to investigate feasibility of this learning center. As part of that, we've been participating in stakeholder meetings, which have included residents, parents, educators, and other community leaders. This has served to inform on the project and the next steps. Continuing on, vision of sense of place, use the city's official channels for communication to share and disseminate balanced information and updates on developments in DeKalb. We're continuing to utilize social media on a daily basis. As of June 30th, we had 3,327 active Facebook followers, 134 Twitter followers, 135 Instagram followers, and those numbers continue to grow on a monthly basis. Additionally, our DeKalb e-News subscriber base through Constant Contact has now grown to over 200 users that are receiving the city newsletter directly to their email inbox, and those numbers also continue to grow. Under a vision of community vitality and a vibrant downtown, extend the streetscape amenities to additional areas of the downtown. In the spring, containers throughout downtown and other areas of the city were filled with colorful flowers, and that has been completed with the help of several community partners. Here we see Mayor Smith with a group of DeKalb High School horticulture students planting containers in Van Buren Plaza. Elsewhere in the city, local master gardeners planted flowers that were grown locally by the DeKalb County Community Garden Foundation. Again, under vision of community vitality and a vibrant downtown, implement and fund alley, sidewalk, and tree planting programs. Public Works continues to identify and address infrastructure that needs repair throughout the city. Here we see an example of a sidewalk issue on Creighton Circle. There was some utility work done in this area, and throughout the winter, due to moisture and varying temperatures, the ground shifted, causing an uneven sidewalk, and Public Works made necessary repairs to replace that. Again, under vision of community vitality and a vibrant downtown, identify opportunities to actively market the DeKalb Taylor Municipal Airport, referencing the current airport marketing plan. As you are aware, Council approved a low-margin jet fuel pricing strategy for the airport this spring. That seems to be having early success. We are proud to report that jet fuel sales for June 2017 tripled sales from June of 2016. The June sales totaled $23,025, and that's just over 9,000 gallons of fuel sold. And you compare that to June of 2016, those numbers were $8,200 or 2,000 gallons sold. So this strategy seems to be gaining some momentum, which is nice. Vision of community vitality and a vibrant downtown, target unsafe and problem properties for blight removal and remediation. As everyone knows, the former Otto's building has now been demolished and new construction is underway for the Cornerstone project. And we see progress being made on a weekly basis. Vision of inclusiveness, institute cultural competency training for all city employees. In May, the city hosted cultural competence and inclusion training for all non-sworn staff. This included staff in the city manager's office, community development, finance, human resources, information technology, and the public works department. This training focused on how we view ourselves and others, how our actions are perceived by others, and how a better understanding of these issues creates a more inclusive environment. City staff would like to thank Associate Professors James Cohen and Joseph Flynn from NIU for providing this valuable training. Again, under vision of inclusiveness, participate in multicultural events such as beloved community dinners, local food celebrations, and parades. Here we see several of our staff from the police department participating in an autism awareness rally at Memorial Park. This was done in conjunction with staff members from the autism program at Camelot School. And it's an example of how our city staff are connecting with various groups throughout the community. Again, under vision of inclusiveness, convene a discussion among healthcare providers regarding the provision of mental health services and resources in DeKalb. The police department has successfully submitted an application to the U.S. Department of Justice for a criminal justice mental health grant, and that would provide funding of up to $75,000 for a one-year study on how to best coordinate services among police and other social and public service providers throughout the community to help identify and address persons that are struggling with mental illness. Vision of inclusiveness, help connect unemployed and underemployed residents to information about education, training, employment opportunities, and other support services. City staff collaborated with University Village Tenants Association to create an RFP for social service delivery in University Village and the surrounding area. This was done in conjunction with the rezoning process of University Village. The city was able to negotiate with security properties to provide $500,000 over a 15-year period for social service delivery. Staff has released the RFP, which would seek proposals from multiple agencies to work together in a collaborative nature to provide services in that area. Vision of accessibility, encourage collaboration between local transportation systems to evaluate routes and hours of operation. The city and NIU continue to actively pursue a consolidation of their transit systems. Public Works Director Holdeman and John Heckman of NIU recently presented data on a possible merger of Husky Line and Transvac to improve service and possibly leverage federal grant funding. Grant funding could be used for things such as construction of a maintenance facility that could accommodate both operations. Under vision of efficient, quality, responsive services, evaluate staffing levels and determine action for meeting community needs. The fire department recently met with Insurance Service Office to complete an inspection of the fire department processes in hopes of lowering the city's ISO rating. A lower ISO rating would be beneficial to homeowners throughout DeKalb as it could lower their homeowners insurance premiums. The city is currently rated at ISO level 4. In this picture, you see our fire personnel conducting what is referred to as a drafting drill, and they are gathering data needed for this ISO rating. The drill also provided our firefighters with the skills necessary to identify the principles of drafting and the components of mobile water supply operations.
Ray, can you move that slide forward? We're seeing.
Oh, my apologies. Continuing vision of efficient, quality, and responsive services, address additional facility and infrastructure needs of the police department, such as firearms training range, consolidated and contractual dispatching. Installation of a 5th CAD workstation in the Police Department Communications Center was recently completed. The addition of the 5th CAD workstation will help the city meet demands of 911 dispatching consolidation, which is likely to occur sometime in the future. Again, under vision of efficient, quality, responsive services, replace aging and unsafe fleet and equipment to mitigate liability, enhance resident safety, and reduce downtime. Public Works took delivery this spring of a new regenerative air street sweeper. This purchase was approved during the fiscal year 2017 budget process and acquired through the city's bid process at a cost of approximately $212,000. This piece of equipment is a significant upgrade over the 1999 Elgin Pelican sweeper that it replaced, which had cost the city approximately $60,000 in repair costs over the past several years. The new sweeper's simultaneous combination of suction and spinning broom surpasses the city's current mechanical sweeping operations, and its ergonomic operating platform is intended to reduce operator fatigue and injury. The vehicle is also a dual-purpose piece of equipment, and that has a rear-mounted suction unit, which can also replace one of our other aging vehicles. That is all, and if you have any questions, I would be happy to answer those.
Yeah, excellent report. Observations, comments from City Council? Alderman Favor.
Sure. Thank you for the report, very good. You had mentioned social media, and I want to congratulate the city and the city staff for utilizing that platform, Facebook and things like that. I am seeing the posts from fire, police, Public Works, and the city. I'd like to see, I'd like to go to the next level, see a little more involvement, potentially. A lot of times when I read the different comments and things, there's usually like a statement or somebody saying, how did I know about this, or how do I find out more information? It'd be great if we had someone who could go in and post a link to what would have been an agenda, or if they could go see, a link to the YouTube video where, like a project is being discussed, and then they could get the information instead of getting bits and pieces and not really getting the whole story. I think it would work better to communicate. It'd be better to communicate proactively, but in the case where we can't, to follow up and provide the facts.
So basically what you're looking for is more response from staff, interchange, going back and forth on social media?
Not necessarily. So Yeah, I want to be careful, not necessarily in exchange, but if somebody says, how do I learn more about TIF funding? You know, obviously, this week would be important that they would email back and say there's a meeting at City Hall at Thursday night at 5 p.m. to talk about the TIF phase-out process. Or I've seen things with the different projects in downtown DeKalb, like how much is this going to cost, or how much money is this particular builder putting into this project? Well, that clearly was part of the discussion, so you could give them the link back to the meeting minutes that would show that, you know, that item, and then they could see that what all was discussed and how much money is being spent in the different areas and things like that. Right now, that's missing. There's not, unless a resident answers back themselves, there's not. I wouldn't want to say to create a lot of dialogue on Facebook that's outside of the normal city channels of communication. But to provide facts, you know, the facts and data would be more what I'm leaning towards.
Understand.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But I do think you're doing a great job. Thank you.
Any further comments from City Council? Ray, I will say this, that, you know, since I've been mayor, I'm impressed with the reports from staff as it relates to where we are in terms of completing some of the goals. As it relates to communications, Tony, I would agree. I was chatting with our city manager last week and again this morning regarding communications, and it's so important. We now have a multi-faceted facility, if you will, out there within which we can communicate with our public. So your comments are very well taken. I will just, I know you were using it as an example, but this Thursday night, we're going to be talking about streets and fleet. The TIF phase out is actually in September. Did I catch you on that one?
Yes.
Okay, good. Good.
I didn't.
Well,
I didn't recognize. I
know.
I know it's coming up.
No, and yeah, basically it is September 19th, and you know, the whole idea of expanding the committees of the whole is what we want to do, and that is to create a venue where we can have a good dialogue on some of the key aspects of city government. So, unless there are any other, Kate, you're looking at me like you have a comment. You do not?
No, I
Oh.
do not have a comment.
Okay, very good. Well, Ray, I appreciate your thoughts. Are there any comments from the public as it relates to this particular topic? If not, thank you very much. Appreciate your report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
We move along now to our item number E, recess for executive session of the City Council.
Jerry, public participation, please.
Yes, I just called for
Well, you
public.
asked on that item, not generally.
Okay, any public participation on any other item not on the committee of the whole agenda?
Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. You got me. Okay. Under the recess for executive session of the City Council, we have one item, approval to hold an executive session to discuss pending or imminent litigation as provided for in 5 ILCS 120/2C11. I'd ask for a motion to hold the executive session.
So moved.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Jacobson?
Yes.
Fanouken?
Yes.
Markwart?
Yes.
Fagan?
Yes.
Noriko?
Yes.
Verbic?
Yes.
Favor?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
8 yes.
City Council now will adjourn to go into executive session. Our next meeting in the public arena will be at 6 o'clock for our regular City Council meeting. Meet over there again, Dean, executive conference.